Club of SCIT, a student-driven platform that encourages exploration of data, analytics, and emerging technologies, helping learners transform ideas into insightful business ideas and real-world solutions. Today's episode explores a challenge enterprises face every day, which is how to scale analytics intelligently without losing speed, trust, and business relevance. As organizations generate massive volume of data, the real question is no longer about excess of data, but about turning it into timely, reliable, and actionable insight at scale. Our topic is scalable AI-enabled analytics with Google Cloud and SAP Analytics Cloud, and how these platforms together are helping organizations move from traditional reporting to smarter, faster, and more informed decision making. Welcome, sir. We are delighted to have with us Mr. Rishikesh Topare, a seasoned professional in cloud computing and enterprise analytics. Rishikesh is a Google Cloud certified professional and currently works as a cloud engineer at Google, where he focuses on building scalable data and analytical solutions, particularly in the SAP and enterprise analytics ecosystem. His work sits at the intersections of cloud platform, data engineering, and AI-enabled analytics. He holds a Bachelor of Engineering degree from Professor RM Institute of Technology and Research and brings him more strong industry experience from leading organizations such as Bosch and PwC, where he worked on a large-scale technology and analytical-driven initiatives. With his combined background in enterprise consulting, cloud platform and analytics, Rishikesh offers valuable insight into how organizations can leverage Google Cloud and SAP Analytics Cloud to drive scalable, intelligent business decision making. It's a pleasure to join him with us today. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Rishikesh Topare.
Thanks for the kind words and the introduction. So it's been a great experience so far. Thanks for the warm welcome as well. And the topic which have been chosen, it's kind of suits me since the career has been there all the a decade. I'll be happy to contribute, and as much as possible I'll try to enlighten everyone on the enterprise data and how it is getting scaled, and it's not necessary that it's restricted to the data in itself, but of course it is more important that data at a core, it's very important to AI to work on it. So I'll try to put some lights on that.
Sure, sir. My first question to you is, when organizations talk about scaling analytics, it often sounds like a technical challenge. From your perspective, what truly defines scalable analytics? Is it the ability to handle the larger volume of data, manage diverse data types, or generate real-time insights from data available worldwide across the same or heterogeneous cloud platform?
Yeah, so you checked already all the boxes in the question itself. It's all of those considering. So that makes it very complex to scalable data architecture basically. So in my opinion, when I say or when I must see that it should be a scalable, I would consider that a system should be built so that it can handle the large volume of data, which is gradually increasing. It's not like when we go into enterprise from the day one, it's already increased. So when the volume goes up day by day, and at volume it comes with the speed as well. So considering the different clients I worked with, so if it is retail, so volume would be large, of course, but the velocity of the volume coming in also is large. So handling those parts and variety of the data as well. So it's not just that single kind of data is coming. It's like a vast different data sets are coming all together, and on top of that we have to consolidate it. So scalability in my point of view would be a system which can handle larger volume of data. Along with that, it can accommodate volume coming in with a velocity and variety. So if that can check those boxes, then it is a scalable system.
Sir, but at what point does analytics stop being the descriptive?
Uh, Descriptive analytics basically when we are working with historical data basically, right? So when data is already existing, we can describe it, we can make information out of data, we can get some insights out of historical data. But at an inflection point where let's say, a data becomes so redundant that you can even predict the future as well, right? Yes. So, for example, weather-wise, you have some product which is getting sold. So, in summer, you won't sell a blankets, right? Yes. Of course. So, you predict that it is not required anymore in the inventory. You can get rid of it before summer hits. So, in certain ways, when the inflection point hits, that it becomes so redundant that you know the prediction as well. So at that point, the descriptive analytics stop being the only thing you are getting out of data. You can even predict the things afterwards. So that would
Sure,
be
sir. My next question to you is that many organizations begin their analytical journey with dashboard and reports like Power BI and Tableau we are using, but struggle as the data volume, users, and complexity increase. But what are the early signs that an analytical setup is no longer scaling effectively?
Yes. So jumping back to the previous question, right? So scalability, yes, volume increases, people will see that reports are getting slower. So in my point of view, the early signs would be some cases where, for example, you were using a report and suddenly the report or the query behind it, it was taking 3-4 seconds, and now you are seeing the inflection point where it is taking 10 minutes to get. So that is one part where you can address, okay, the scalability is no more sustainable. Second part would be the data integrity as well. So uh, certain customers follow business processes, certain don't. Why I'm saying this is, in my experience, where people have been there for longer duration, they know the loopholes in the system and they try to get their work done without following the system, right? So in such cases, the naming convention and everything, of course, it is important for scalable, and later I will speak about AI as well. So for AI to understand the data, it should have a uniformity. It should not say that one mobile phone, then if certain mobile phone is not called a mobile phone, then that would not be considered as a mobile phone anymore. Yes. So you cannot change suddenly a names, right? So that becomes very important, that it should be uniform in nature. So early signs would be data integrity if it is lost. KPI dashboard are getting reported differently across departments. So those would be early signs, and of course the performance. So that three checkboxes, if you are checking slowly and gradually, then scalability is no more sustainable.
Sure, sir. My next question to you is cloud platform like Google Cloud promise elasticity, performance, and advanced AI capabilities. Beyond infrastructure, how does cloud fundamentally change the way analytic systems are designed, scaled, and evolved?
Okay, so that is a good question actually. So whenever we talk about the cloud, for a beginner terms, they have a pay as you go model, right? And when we talk about on-premise system, which are the conventional legacy systems, we have been using it specifically. Let's say SAP world, we have SAP ECC system, enterprise resource planning, and then we have BW system as well. So business warehouse system, those are the systems which were on-prem initially, and 30 years it has worked phenomenally. But when it comes to a cloud, when we talk about, let's say, we go and move to the cloud, first thing of a paramount feature we will get is the on-premise system are always designed from the peak load perspective, right? So let's suppose you have a Black Friday sale, or you have a Christmas sale, or in our India we have Diwali sale, or 15 August Republic Day sale. So in those terms, the peak, you know that you would get so much traffic that you would need that memory to sustain and to perform in that traffic, or else your system would be down. So for such scenario, the on-premise system is developed for peak load cases. Yes. Whereas when we opt for a cloud, cloud is a not like conventional on-premise. It can scale when it needs to scale up. It can scale down as well when it needs to. So if you don't need a peak load every day, of course you can scale it down. You can pay only for the volume or compute engine you are using, not for all the peak loads. And when it comes the peak times, of course, over the year you would get 4 or 5 times where you would need all the peak volume to be handled, right? So on 4 or 5 days you can spend much more and handle the traffic as well, and your customer won't go away from you because you are handling them.
Yes, sir.
And if it would have been on premise, you are paying whole year for all peak load setup, right?
Yes.
So such cases, I think on-premise would be of a pivotal turn for any organization to use, where it gives you customer handling at peak load, and when it is not needed, you are not paying for it anymore. Right?
Yes, sir. So, but is there a risk of organization adopting AI in the cloud before their data foundations are mature enough to support it?
Correct. So this is a question in itself having answer in the same. So yes, true. So data foundation is very important first of all, because as I mentioned one example where data is not uniform anymore. So it becomes very difficult for AI to understand your context of information. You cannot create any context out of your own. It should be uniform in nature. I'll just give you an example of SAP if anybody watching here and knows SAP world. So consider SAP is a German organization, right? So they build their all systems based on German language, of course, because they were Germans. Now, considering one table, for example, material table or article table, we call is a MARA table, MARA. Does not make any sense, right?
Yes.
MATNR, it's a material number field. Does not make any sense for us. But for them, it's a German name. They make sense out of it. For AI, it does not. For us, it is not making, so AI cannot also understand. And there are tens and thousands of tables and millions of fields also involved. You cannot make everything learned by AI, and to make a context, it will lose a context. If you feed too much to the system, it cannot keep up, right? So the pace at which it is learning, of course, it is great, but you cannot expect everything out of it as a context loses with the amount of variety it is getting, right? For the same data you are calling material number, same data you are calling matter, same data you are calling article, then it confuses in itself and it hallucinates whether it is having a right answer or not. So this becomes a problem. It's just a SAP example I took, but anywhere if you see single dimension, if you are explaining it in multiple terms, it will cause AI to hallucinate, and that becomes the answer to your question, that data foundation would be a basic idea which organization enterprise needs to work on before they even try and go for applied AI.
Sure, sir. My next question to you is SAP Analytics Cloud brings analytics closer to business in areas like finance, planning, and operation. Why is the business context so critical when embedding AI into analytics, especially at enterprise scale?
Yes, so context is very important, as I mentioned before as well. See, if you chat with any Gemini model, or let's get any chat GPT, right? Any LLM, if you ask them continuous pattern question, like on the one topic, you are continuing feeding it your question, it is providing you an answer, and it will keep in a loop checking all the previous question answer, and then provide you another set of information, right? So when the context is going on continuously, it recalls everything what is going on the chat. Suddenly you open a new chat, it won't remember. Right? It loses a context. So context act as a connecting tissue, where you are saying that I understand the language, I understand this data set, and you ask anything to me about this data set, I know. But if you suddenly change the topic, it cannot handle it, right? So context would act as a connecting tissue between you and the data behind the AI. And one more thing would be, apart from context also, there would be certain set of golden prompts, what we call, right? So having them set up would be also crucial for AI to understand your meaning of basically question and answer, to put into a context. So those two things I think.
But
needs
sir,
to be
you
addressed.
told that they when we open the new chat, they forgot everything. But the thing is that when we use Chat GPT Gemini, when we open that same chat on the another day, they sometimes forgot the information which we already had given.
Because yes, so the chat GPT or any kind of LLM, it's not recalling everything in that chat itself, right? So there are instances where you will see it will recall because it is still cached in your browser, but unless it is closed and everything is gone, and you open the same chat, you have a historical chats available on you for you, right? You can read what you had communicated before, but if you again put a new question on a new day, on a new time, it won't recall what had happened before. It is having everything in the window, but it won't. So that's the context is gone. Once you are closing the thread, then it stops being in the same context anymore.
Sure, sir.
Yeah.
My next question to you is when Google Cloud and SAP Analytic Cloud are used together, organization gain both advanced AI capabilities and enterprise grade governance. What make this combination particularly effective for scalable AI-enabled analytics?
Okay, so SAP also has its own AI, right? Why we need Gemini or Google? That would be again a question, right? So SAP's AI is particularly designed and developed. Consider yourself working or learning some technology, and you will excel at it. So it's kind of a T-shaped learning where you have a depth in one tech and broaden ideas on the other technologies, right? But when it comes to analytics, it's not just your own SAP data it's necessary. You need data of a trends which is outside of SAP. You need climate data, you need geo data, right?
Yes.
You need weather data. Everything you would need to certainly predict, prescribe yourself to take a decisions, right? So in such cases, the data variety becomes hard for SAP's AI to understand because it knows SAP context. Of course, Matner it knows it is a material number, but it does not know what whether this material would be having inventory of this material would make sense or not, right? So in such cases, Gemini comes into picture because Gemini is a large language model which can understand all other context. It has Google Trends data, it has public data available, data sets in BigQuery, and everything else. It's already understood by Gemini. And of course, the common natural language processing is a way to higher processing power it needs. Plus, it would be very layman terms. If I want to tell you, if you ask enterprise system a layman's question, like I want to know the sales, it
Yes.
knows that sales is there, but on what context you are asking it, it will not know. But when it comes to Gemini, it will know that in current condition, what would be the better number to show you as a result. So that becomes a part where SAP is providing their own. They have Joule, they have Just Ask feature in SAC, they have Smart Predict, they have Smart Insights as well. But those LLM and ML models would not understand all other context or all other data sets. So that's where the Google's Gemini or Vertex AI we have, which will understand other context and connect it with the SAP data. Then enterprise can benefit or leverage that insights and get a better decision making insights.
Yes, thank you. Because Google Gemini compared to ChatGPT also give the references from which it is sourcing the data.
Yes.
So my next question is that how does this integration help organization balance innovation with security, compliances, and data trust?
Okay, security, compliances, and data trust. So, data trust wise, if I just want to cover ACV part, we have let's say 30 years of legacy. So, you know when product has sustained 30 years of summer and winters, you don't question it anymore, right? So, that question on SAP would not be there. Of course, when it comes to GCP or Google Cloud Platform, we have another data sets which are also being trusted. Those are trusted, that's where they are used by Google. Uh, and both of them are having a tie. So every now and then you will get announcements or hear a announcement from both sides that there is something they are collaborating on. So recently the zero copy data, right?
Yes, sir.
So we can copy a SAP data without copying actually a hard copy or a persist the data in the GCP. You can just fetch it whenever required. Doesn't matter the volume, right? So that's a very like profound or very lucrative thing for others to see. Okay, SAP data without any persistence, you can access it in the GCP, right? So data integrity or the trust issue won't be there when these two are combined. Second was compliance. So on the compliance part, of course, the AI sovereignty is there, right? So for that, data should be there in the region. So that is a basic idea. If I want to speak, recently we have budget as well. So they have given a 21-year holiday for
Yes.
tax, right? So that becomes a crucial. See, every region has their own policies. Sometimes they want data to be in their region, or some African countries they are okay with data being shared, right? So depending on the country to country or region to region basis, those compliances norms should be formed, and that's where SAP and GCP basically have, I think 40 plus countries are supported with all data centers and infra being there. So compliance would be followed. There won't be any question. And third point, I forgot to explain.
So data trust.
Data. So data trust is already answered. Compliance was there. Third
And
was
security.
security. There is no question. So Google has model armor. All we know can, or whoever does not know, just Google model armor. There is no question about security. On the SAP side, we have specific teams for SAP. I think they are called uh, governance teams,
Yes.
right? So they do a pretty much everything what is called for by government or regions or any uh, organization they need to, and legally they are okay with every norms. So there is all 3 points are already handled, and since all both these organizations have been in data, one is there since 30-40 years and one is a bigger giant who are vertically stacked, right? They are completely having a stack of vertical optimization. So I think those questions should not come when you are opting as an enterprise for both.
But sir, most of the time, users don't know that their data are being used by the enterprises or companies for developing their technologies or for learning their models. So what about that compliance, security, trust?
Yeah, so wherever you are submitting a data, that would be your point of question, not other enterprise organization. Because if the question comes in like Google is using personal data, so no, that answer would be no, because PII, personal identifiable data, basically, so that has its own norms. There is hefty penalty, and it is always in US dollars because they have to pay there. So it's always followed by Google. We don't use any personal data, even our own data. If I am using, for example, my organization laptop and I upload my photo at least or any document, first it checks and then it has three options. What are you uploading in the browser? It doesn't matter where I am uploading. I could be uploading anywhere. I could be using my own personal Gmail. I could be using company's email ID, right? But it asks me, are you uploading a personal data? Are you uploading a Google data? Or are you uploading a non-personal data? So non-personal data, if I select, it is okay. Then you have chosen, for example, you lied that it is a personal data, but you said it is not a personal data. Then you made your own decision that you are allowing this browser to take your personal data and not follow the system, right? Yes. But if it is you are choosing personal data, it won't allow you to use. Right? Sure. So those checks are there.
Okay, my next question to you is analytics become more automated and AI driven. Trust become non-negotiable. How can organization ensure that insight generated at scale remain explainable, auditable, and trustworthy?
Yeah, so on this part, actually, there would be an example like, for example, a trustworthiness of a data remains with the organization first of all, right? It's not a system or a technology which is driving the data. It is mainly people and enterprise who is putting the data in the system. So it is always on the people. I would say 70-80% it's on the people and the organization who are driving the trustworthiness of a data, not a technology. So technology, whatever you use, it doesn't matter. And all the technologies, not just SAP or Google, because I work with these two technology, but other technology as well. If you consider the trustworthiness, which always will always be there with the technology, but if your organization is not following the system's rules or whatever governance principle they have set, or even not set, they have to set. So that becomes a threshold for you. At least you maintain that bar, then it will not be a question of integrity of the data or losing trust in the data.
Sure, sir. Uh, like next question is that with AI enabled analytics becoming mainstream, what skills and mindset shifts are the most important for students and professionals who want to build a career in this space like SAP analytics and cloud?
Okay. Here I would be speaking broadly, not just specific to CP, but in terms of AI, the mindset should be shifting towards, for example, conventionally when I was doing engineering or 5 years or 6 years back, when the Gemini or ChatGPT AI models or LLMs were just a talk and not a real reality. The programming was a mainstream skill set, right? You have to know one or two kind of programming languages, then you would of course get a job, right? Now, for a engineering student, it should shift from learning a programming language to an applied AI or applied ML, right?
Yes.
So either of those, they should bring those skills on the table. Else, they would not. I would say have a chance at least of getting an interview. That would be one case. Second is for management students. Mostly they were till 5 6 years they were playing a role where they are bridging a gap between a developer and a business, right?
Yes.
The context bit remains the same. They have to bridge the gap, but this time the mastery would be different. It's not people management or contextual meaning convergent management, or you are just understanding functional and converting into technical terms. It wouldn't be that simple. It would be you are bridging a gap between a requirement which is coming as an AI requirement. So you have to know or gain a AI mastery in AI. At least broader level, you should understand how AI works, what is feasible, what is not feasible, to give at least a verdict or have a confidence to say customer a no where it is not possible, rather than pushing and coming back to developer asking them to do impossible things. Right?
So means it should have we should have like a skills like combination of AI knowledge and analytics knowledge, technology and business intelligence as well.
Those are like gone are the days where business intelligence or analytics would be mainstream. It would be mostly ML and AI which would drive going, I think, 4 5 years in future. If you don't know anything or you are not keeping up with AI, how fast and quickly it is evolving, basics should be clear for MBA student at least, that how AI or basic AI works or architecture looks like. So it would be easy for them to talk about it at least, not work with it, but at least talk about it. Not BI is I think converted into AI now, not anymore business intelligence. It's all artificial.
Sure, sir. Like in we past few days, we have our union budget to 2025, 2026 to 27. And then one of the highlights for the union budget was the proposal to grant a tax holiday until 2047
Yes.
to foreign companies that provide global cloud services using data centers located in India.
Yes.
But in your view, how impactful will this be on India's AI ecosystem?
Yeah, so ecosystem wise, of course, we would have jobs, many jobs. Recent, I think 1 or 2 days ago, I don't know, you have read the news. Uh, all the big companies, and I don't want to be political, but there is a visa problem, we all know.
Yes.
And due to that, it would be certain that you want a headcount to increase, and not just any headcount, you want a skilled workers. If you don't get the skilled workforce, then of course you are lagging behind. You cannot like ask everyone to skill up their game, right? Skilling up is one area where you can work, but it is a long duration game where you would need to invest as well. The outcome would come after 2 or 3 years, but you would need somebody who is already having that skill. So let's take an example again on the AI side. If somebody knows AI and somebody wants to learn an AI, there is already a 2 3 years of a gap. This guy will learn and deliver in 2 3 years. This guy already knows, so you have to hire that, right? Jobs with this particular budget where the 21 year holiday is there. So SRE jobs would come to our ground, fortunately. Data centers would be there, largely opened. I think Vishakhapatnam,
Yes,
Google
sir.
has announced, right? So these will come slowly and steadily. Microsoft, I think, acquired a land in Pune itself, right, 2 years back somewhere. So they may announce something in future. So data center job wise, SRE site reliability engineer job will be there. AI wise, nothing is going away. So if you know AI, you can play with its ropes. Then I think that would be there, and this of course drives the economy. Plus, not just on this level, so everybody knows where the software industry is there, the region expands like anything. So real estate would be growing. plus you will have a small scale economy there. So all the vegetables and everything you can talk about. So all those are kind of economics, and the home worker, housemaid, everything would be required. Of course, both nowadays both people are working in the house, right? So this boosts the economy in a way, and it would help this 21 years holiday for other, not just Google, Microsoft, and bigger companies, but other companies also to invest in the data center. I think that is good.
Sir, what do you think where India will stand in coming years in terms of AI?
We are a long way behind in my perspective, and anybody can argue on that. We haven't been, I think, in the top of the list. We haven't developed yet a working AI model which is globally used, right? We are using Gemini, of course. There are Indians who are doing it, but those are not in India.
Yes.
Right? ChatGPT is altogether a different ball game they have produced. Uh, but I think we are still focusing on basically service based approach, and that should change. We should focus on delivering or deriving some product out of AI, or create AI, or have a change of mindset where we are not delivering a service to a US or Europe based customer. We are creating a product for them to use, not a service for them to utilize at a lower rate. Right? So I think that is required.
Thank you, sir. That was a very insightful discussion. Before we wrap up, could you share one experience with where scalable AI-enabled analytics significantly changed decision making, either as a success story or a learning experience?
Okay, so first of all, success story. I don't count success as a major if I am generating a revenue, of course I should generate a revenue to increase the business and everything. But if I am solving a problem, that becomes a success criteria mostly. So recently, it's a retail customer where the AI helped a lot. So I would like broadly give an example. So during a sale day, of course, the peak volumes are there, customer having more complaint, delays are there. COVID-like scenario, if it hits, we have production line delay, as well as headcount is, resources are less, plus transport is problem. So delays would be there, and customer hits you where it hurts, of course. So they have a lot of complaints where delays are there, and some customers are fraud as well. Not all of them, but few of them try to trick the system where it's already broken, right? So there was a customer, retail customer, where complaints inflow is more. They don't have resources, but they have the way of dealing with things was till last year they were hiring many people locally to accommodate those customer complaints. So manually they will pick up a call, they will see, okay, your order is there, it's delayed because what so reason. Some customer complaint, maybe my order got delivered but it is broken. So all those orders were manually handled, and it was let's say for 5 days you are having that volume of work, and after 5 days it's not there anymore, right? So such cases, they were handling it with manual labor per diem cost. So after 5 days, those employees are no more there. So you have created an economy for few people for few days. Now this is a disruptive way. First of all, you won't get those locals every time now, because they lost a trust in you after 5 days. You use them and just thrown out. Secondly, that could have been handled better from the customer's point of view as well. Manual intervention are erroneous in nature. Manual errors are always prone there. So to handle it, what we delivered was AI-based solution, and some hardware was involved, of course. So the journey of a product, when you post a order, purchase has started. The product from production life cycle, it would be captured its own journey of a product until the point it is delivered. Everything is captured as a video. That whole video for a product would be stored as data for an AI to process. So for example, you are a customer, you ordered something from my enterprise. I would have a video of how that product was delivered to you. And if you come me with a fraud or a false claim that it was broken, I have a video proof that it was how it traveled and there is no chance of breaking it. It would have been either you broke it or you are lying. Basically, show me something. So, due to that, first of all, fraud detection was possible because of that hardware. Secondly, AI was able to understand what video and what part of video is crucial to prove that you are false claim, right? Secondly, it was quicker to gain insight out of video itself, where the let's say it is in transportation. So video is getting recorded as well, but it is feeded into the database as well on the fly. So you know that it is at this location. So live location tracker was possible. That it is not. I'm not just saying that it is in the transit. I'm saying where it is, exactly latitude, longitude. So you know by what time it will reach to your location, and after a day or some hours you will get it. So those two three things were handled, and of course no manual intervention. So it was hardware wise it is one time effort or one time cost, but efficiency wise it was better, and there was no sudden employability crisis also. So that was a good story, success story in my terms.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your knowledge. It's clear that scalable AI-enabled analytics is not just about platforms like Google Cloud or SAP Analytics, but about architecture, trust, and the culture of decision making with organization. To all our listeners, thank you for tuning in the episode on scalable AI-enabled analytics with Google Cloud and SAP Analytics Cloud. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to see more content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Pragya will continue bringing conversations that help students and professionals understand how to apply emerging technologies and thoughtful at that scale. This is Soumya and this podcast is presented by Pragya, the AI Analytics Club of SCIT. Stay curious, stay analytical, and we will see you in the next episode of Pragya.